So now this is just reciprocal, exactly the same thing. So let's put this in the same way. I've already got this in now, and I've got this in. So the only place that these two can be is up here. So let's find all the non-reds, non-blues rather. This has to come into over here. So I'm going to put this on the bottom, move this in position over here. This is going to come here to be replaced by this. So move it down, bring it to the side, bring this edge into position, bring it here, and place it back. And without any further ado, this gets moved into here. Turn, turn, turn. Once you do it, it will make sense. You'll be able to visualize it and turn it in. So now this is it. And now lastly we have this, which can find a nice home with this guy. So just move it into position, like so. This will come down to here, turn, ugh, splat, clink. And now we just move this back in, zoom, pow, splat, and I'll just move this back down. Good, 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 good. And now we just do the last ones left over. Notice this one is being put in. This center is being reduced because it has no choice as we're reducing these. So these two oranges are going to find a nice home right over here. Bring this down like so, taking it out with these two planes. Bring this down here, bring this down like thus, and I'll put this back. Just get an intuitive sense of how you're moving these things. Now I put these out so that it can find a nice home over here with the reds, that neglected color from the previous layer. Turn, 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 and turn, and turn. Okay, this one, find a nice home here. Turn. Oh, can't do it like that. I have to do it like this. Turn without destroying the puzzle by much. Okay. No more reds. Whites. Well, I got a lonely white over here. Why not? Turn, 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 turn. This is a fun one to try to speed solve as long as the puzzle is robust and doesn't fall apart on you. We've got a bunch of yellows. Let's exchange it for these whites. Turn, 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 turn. Zoom, pow, splat. Crunch. Okay, you'll find that layer by layer is actually a very fun solve. This comes down to here. Turn, 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 turn. Look at them go. Look at them go. And turn. Okay. Now what? What do we got left? Bunch of whites. These two to here. Turn and turn. Now, do I have any layers available to me? And yes, this one over here. Just have to remember to put these back to clean up your mess. Turn and turn. See, piece of cake. No troubles at all. I've got two yellow oranges. This can come here. Free up another white. Turn, turn, turn. All too easy. Turn and turn. Unstoppable you are. Okay, here's a white. I'm sure I can find a home here to replace with this red. Turn, 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 turn. Okay, what do we got now? We've got a red here, which will come over to here. Okay, I foresee a possible issue. Now here's a problem. If I exchange these two, this red is in and I'm going to have a white, red, and yellow stuck over here and all my blues over here. So I'm going to do something a little radical before I, well, nah, let's just do it. So let's move the red in. Turn, 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 and turn. Okay, so here's a situation that you might end up with all of these are up here and these are down over here. So there's a variety of ways to get these in. I could do that, but I'm not going to do that only because I don't want to introduce a new algorithm at the moment. But I think you guys who see my tutorials understand what I'm talking about. But in any case, it's too late now because it's over here. So I'm just going to do it. This will turn over here, turn, turn, turn. Now remember, what I'm trying to do is minimize algorithms. I know there's easier and quicker ways to do it. I'm just choosing not to do it. I'm just choosing to keep it simple, keep it basic, and use one strategy to solve. Now these two have to switch, so I'm just going to do a little exchange. Well, why not? I'm in the neighborhood anyway. All right, this will come down here. Turn, turn, and turn. I believe we have one more. Turn, 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 turn. Here we go. And turn. Okay, we have all but the last layer. And now we've finally gotten ourselves to the actual point at which the viewer had a question, because the viewer actually got all this, no problems. But now it's the last layer. I'm going to do the last layer like I do cuboid. So it's important to understand cuboid strategy with this. Now, the key with doing this is the Redbull algorithm. Redbull algorithm is a key cuboid algorithm because what it basically does is it takes two corners or two areas of your edges and swaps them and flips them. That's a good way of getting out of parity situations, and the good thing about it is it does nothing to any of the other layers. So that's the key over here. Now when you're doing cuboid strategy and you're trying to reduce edges here, and you've seen me do this with a variety of different cuboids where we've reduced the edges on the bottom and we have to do the edges on the top. Basically, the first thing that you want to do is you want to get your corners in. So we're going to start from the inside and move out. And on the inside, we're going to define the very center as the edge and the two pieces that abut it that are adjacent as corners. So these are going to be thought of as corners for now. Then once we put these in, this whole thing will be an edge and these will be corners. So the first thing you want to do is you want to find two corners that actually have that are actually in, so to speak. Not these two. These are different colors over here. Not these two. Not these two. Not these two. So when that happens, I need to move a corner into here and do an adjacent corner swap to get the right one here. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the blue and yellow, say, if I put this over here. What's not here, it's here. So what I'm actually going to want to do is I'm going to want to take this and move it all the way over here. And I can do that by taking this entire edge and doing an adjacent edge swap over there. Now when I move this over here, this yellow will be positioned nicely over here. But anytime I do an edge swap, it's going to create placement parity here. So I'm just going to get out of that by doing another random edge swap in a way I don't really care about. So I'm going to take this and move all of these as edges and swap these two. And that's going to be 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. And as promised, this is over here. This is yellow and blue ready for some action, but how am I going to fix this? Well, I'm going to fix this because I just cared about these two edges. I don't care about these two. So I'm going to move this over here and I'm just going to swap these two for no other reason than just to get these two back. So that's going to be an edge swap, adjacent edge swap, 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Yeah, I understand. Quite the production just to do that, but I'm trying to keep it simple. I a lot of times do these tutorials also to open up the discussion to those who may have an easier way to do what I just did. So now what I want to do is I want to take this and move it over here. And I'm going to do that by doing an adjacent corner swap. But I'm going to look at this whole thing as a corner, because we're really just dealing with these three units. So an adjacent corner swap is going to be 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Then we do UI and a bottom DI, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. And there we have it. So these two are in. Now what I'm going to do is one more corner swap and all the corners will be in. If this were a normal cuboid, what I would do is I would put this, let's move that back there, is I'd put this to the left and I do another corner swap with the faith that this blue and white, the other blue and white is here. But this isn't at that step of a usual cuboid because the blue and white is not here. It's, well, it's here, but it's the wrong side around. So what can I do about that? If this is the wrong side around? Well, it's where it needs to be, it just needs to be flipped. So how am I going to flip these two? How am I going to take these two and flip it so I can corner swap? Do you think about it? Yeah, the Redbull algorithm. Now bear in mind when I do that, this is going to be my R and this is going to be my L. Plug it into your brain and just do it. To R, to B, to U, L. Get it? RBUL, Redbull. To up, RI. To up, R. To up, to F, R. To F, LI. To B, to R. A worthy one to know because there it is and there it is. Now, to those who are kind of astute, you may have said, well, why did I do all those middle swaps? Couldn't I have just done that Redbull algorithm to reorganize things? And the answer is, yeah, you really could have. I'll show you what I mean once these are in and we work with these guys. So now this is going to come in and hopefully all of my edges will be in. So let's go ahead and do another corner swap. To our U, to our UI, to R, UI, DI, to R, UI, to R, U, to R. And this gets moved back. So, no worries. These are in, and these are in. So you see all of them are in. So now it's a question of middle swapping these. So what needs to go where? Well, we have this. These two need to do an opposite middle swap because this blue and yellow come over here, this blue and orange come over here. So, to R, this is my R again, to U, to R, to U, to R, to U. So you can see these are in, created placement parity here, move these, and now do these two. To R, to U, to R, to U, to R, to U. These are in, but look, they're flipped. So what do I do about that? Redbull algorithm twice. You're going to get a lot of good practice with that. To R, to B, to U, L, to up, RI, to up, R, to up, to F, R, to F, LI, to B, to R, and like magic, it's fine. Now we do this one. And what you have is you have a reduced area over here. Now, it might not have turned out that way, this way. It may have turned out something like this. There, now this is probably the major question that people are going to have. You have these two corners in, ignore this for now, they happen to be in, these are not in, and these are in. So this is a situation where two corners are in, but two are out. So what do? Well, what does this remind you of? Think back in terms of what this pattern is and where you've seen this before, because we've encountered this. So as I was solving this and I came upon this, it became very clear to me exactly what this is. And I can use the same strategy. This is, in essence, what I've called the floppy parity. The floppy parity occurs when you have a type of shape-shifting cuboid, like a 5 by 3 by like a 3 by 5 by 5, or a 2 by 4 by 4, or a 5 by 7 by 7. Something where you have one small side and two large sides. And as you're doing the reduction of the last edge, you come up with a situation like this, where basically these two guys here need to flip-flop. So this looks exactly like a floppy parity because in essence that's kind of what you're getting. This shape shifts in every direction just like floppies do, and also like ultimate shapeshifters. So and the way that we've constrained the puzzle by doing it layer by layer, it's in essence the same thing. So here's how I get out of the floppy parity. You have it lined up to where the two that are out are across from each other. So if this happened to be here, this happened to be here, you have to flip-flop them basically by doing edge swaps. And what you want to do is go ahead and turn this. We're going to be flip-flopping these guys here, so go ahead and turn this, do like a 2B. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to move it all the way over here. So once again, move it across from each other. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this, you want it to be where the two things that have to swap are directly opposite each other like this. If they're not opposite each other, do a Redbull to flip-flop them. Double turn. And I would take one of these here, take this side here, and bring it in like so. Now, imagine what you're going to be doing. You're now going to do a Redbull algorithm which will flip-flop these. After you flip-flop these, remember that algorithm doesn't change anything else. But once you flip-flop these, this white will be here and this red will be here. So then you're going to move it back, and as such, this white is now going to come to here, but opposite this white. So this white is going to turn here, and now then you're going to move this white over to here, so it's opposite where this white is now going to be, which is over there. So that's how you do that. So just to rehash, just to reiterate, if you're not used to the floppy parity, when you get into a situation like this, take the two that have to be flip-flopped and put them opposite each other. If they're not, Red Bull them to get them opposite each other. Then double turn the back here and move this one into position like so. Now you may say, why do that? Why not just do the Red Bull, put the white here, and then move this one in here at that time? But if you do that, you're going to end up with this turned and kind of get stuck in a rut, kind of get stuck in a trap. So if I turn it here like this, turn it, then turn it back, then it'll be coordinated. So let me show you what I mean. We'll do the Red Bull, 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, 2R. Now here's what I mean. So this is now placed over here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this and we're going to turn it all the way over to here. 1, 2, 1, 2. So now you can see this is fine. And now we can take this and once again double turn it back so all these are fine. Now there's a little price to pay. Notice we've flip-flopped these edges, these centerpieces. Well, we're going to turn these back in exactly the way we were before, same strategy. I'm going to take these two and put it over here. So I'm going to use the same strategy. I'm going to do 2 instead of 1 turn, 2 turns. So now these are in. I'm putting all of these guys in. Moved it out in this plane. Turn it. And I'm going to turn this down by 2. 1. And now we just keep rotating this around until we get them back in. Just remember to do 2. So this comes in here. 1, 2. Turn this here. 1, 2. And now we just turn it back. These two come back up. Same technique, but instead of just turning it by 1, I turn it by 2. And at the end of the day, these will all be back in. These edges are now in. Now we do the same thing. Now these are going to be thought of collectively as one edge. Here are 2 corners that are in. These 2 aren't. These 2 aren't. These 2 aren't. So that makes sense. So I'm going to move this to the side. What I want is the orange and blue one, which happens to be here, to be flip-flopped. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So now this is my R to flip-flop these 2. So I'm doing a adjacent corner swap. 2R U, 2R UI, 2R UI DI, 2R UI, 2R U, 2R, and this moves back. So now we have these 2 corners are in, these 2 are in, and this isn't, and this isn't. Once again, we have that parity, that floppy parity. What I'm going to want to do is I want to take this and move this over to here. Now, if I do a swap, I'm going to end up with placement parity and all that jazz, so I'm not going to do it that way this time. what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat these like edges, and I'm going to do the algorithm that holds this here and rotates these edges around. It's the same thing that I did with these guys here. If I were to move this into position here, and I do R, U, R, U, R2, U, R, I, this will stay the same and these guys will rotate. I'm just going to do that until this is opposite here. So again, no new algorithms, I'm borrowing from an old concept. R, U, R, I, U, R, 2U, R, I, and that's all it's going to take before this is opposite this. Now what we want to do is we want to flip-flop these two, right? So we put them opposite each other, that we want to flip-flop. I'm going to double turn this, and now same thing, double turn it like so. This is once again the quote floppy parity. Redbull these two now, so that once this orange is here, this yellow is here, I can now move this yellow back and move these centers back. 2R, and concentrate on which R is your R's. It's not this time, it's not these two this time, it's this time. So that was 2R, 2B, 2U, L. This was the L. 2U, RI, 2U, R, 2U, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, 2R. Upon doing that, simply move this back, and now you've got it. You've got this over here, and now we can move these. The price that we paid is these guys over here, but we can easily move this back. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to take these two and move this down over to here, like so. Move this down here, and once again go 1, 2, 1, 2. Move this back here, and move these two, 1, 2, 1, 2. Move this back over here, and just move this one. Hopefully you're getting kind of an intuitive sense of what I'm doing here. Now I've got these three. It comes out of order a little bit here, but that's okay. These two will move over to here. Turn, turn. Move this like so. Turn, turn. Move it back. Turn, turn. Move it like thus. Turn, turn. Move it over here. Giving me one more to go, which is this one. Turn, turn. Here. Turn it twice here. Turn it back. Turn it twice. Turn it back, turn it twice. Okay. So now we got it. So now I did what I wanted to do. I've got these corners in. So what I want to do is I want to flip-flop these guys. I want to do an adjacent swap of these. So this will come here and be solved, this red will come here, and then I'll swap these guys here so that this red can ultimately come over to here. Alternatively, what I could do is let's do an opposite middle swap. So these reds can come with these reds over here. This orange will not be where it needs to be, but then we can do another swap. So we don't end up with placement parity. Every time we do an edge swap, whether it's adjacent or opposite, we end up with placement parity. So we need to have an even number of those to get it out. So these over here, this is RR, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. This is cuboid style, so this is fine. It's misplaced, but that's okay. Now these oranges will come over to here with the 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, and 2R. So this is all in. These are actually all in, but now I've got to flip these with, you guessed it, just a boatload of Red Bulls. 2R, that'll keep you up all night. 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, 2R, we're good. And same thing here. One more, 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, to B, and to R. And lo and behold, you've got all of these edges reduced. And now, because there's no parity with this, we're going to go ahead and orient these. We have the line here, so to speak, where you have this and this that are rotated up, and you have these that are not rotated up. I'm assuming knowledge of how to do the last layer of a Rubik's Cube, because now we're just doing simple last layer 3x3 strategies. Whether you did layer by layer or beginner's method, it doesn't matter at this point. Whether you did reduction or layer by layer, it's exactly the same. So line it up to where you've got the line facing this way, F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I. We have our cross. Get this in, good, good, not good, not good. Put the ones that are in to the right and to the back, and do R, U, R, I, U, R, to U, R, I, and then another U. All of our crosses are in. Find the corners that are correct. No, 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 no. So just do a random U, R, U, I, L, I, U, R, I, U, I, L. This is in. If this is in, keep it to the right. U, R, U, I, L, I, U, R, I, U, I, L. And is everything in? Yeah. We just have to R, I, D, I, R, D this into submission. R, I, D, I, R, D, R, I, D, I, R, D, R, I, D, I, R, D, R, I, D, I, R, D. Move this in line, same thing, R, I, D, I, R, D, and you know the words, and you know where this is going. So this is pretty much landing us to the very last stage of any of our solves. Orientation of our corners. One more RID, and we find ourselves home free. And there you have it. A full 7-layer, layer by layer, 7x7 layer by layer solve. Another intriguing and interesting way of doing it. I hope that answered the question regarding the last layer over here, because I know that's where the question was. But basically what you want to do is keep in mind the Redbull algorithm to orient things, the strategy of the floppy parity, doing corner swaps and edge swaps as needed. Once you do that, because everything is really in the same layer. Once it's in the same layer, you use those algorithms to move things around, which you can do. So if anyone has any other questions or further requests on other layer by layer solves, let me know. It's another interesting and intriguing way of solving these big cubes. Thanks for watching.